So Eminem just keeps getting everyone pregnant.
What? Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute.
There. Run it back.
No, you have a farm.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We actually the other day, gosh, it must have been like a month or two ago, I was out on the farm and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a baby goat. And I really couldn't believe it. I was like, this is not one of my pre-existing goats. Wow. And so I'm like, who just gave birth? Searching around the farm everywhere. And I'm like, Cardi B, you gave birth. Yeah, so it's one of my goats gave birth, and then I thought, oh gosh, who's the perpetrator? So Eminem just keeps getting everyone pregnant.
That's why he's the GOAT!
He has 3 baby mamas.
Oh my God.
So he had to go to the vet and get the snip because we had too many babies on the farm.
Damn.
Dre is a perfectionist.
Dre made him redo the opening bar for that like 400 times or something like that because he was like, you haven't got the intonation right.
I was the one that could stand on the soapbox and like articulate what we were going through.
Jay and I, just the other day, he texted me because he saw the clip of us talking about the hair combo.
So that was Millie Bobby Brown on Jimmy Fallon opening up about life on her farm and revealing that she has a goat named Eminem, a moment that instantly had social media doing double takes because some people genuinely thought she was talking about the real Eminem at first. But that's just the beginning because today's headlines are packed and you won't believe some of the updates making waves right now. We've got fresh developments surrounding Jay-Z's promotional run ahead of the 30th anniversary celebrations for Reasonable Doubt, and things are getting even more interesting as tensions continue brewing among former allies in hip-hop over Jay. On top of that, Eve shared more stories about Dr. Dre's legendary perfectionism, something virtually every artist who's worked with Dre has talked about over the years. And speaking of major updates, we also got new information regarding Eminem's ex-wife months after her DUI arrest made headlines. According to reports, Eminem's ex-wife has now skipped court appearances connected to her drunk driving cases. The report states that Kimberly Ann Mathers, 51, was scheduled to be sentenced for a February hit-and-run incident in which authorities say she was intoxicated. The Chesterfield Township resident previously pleaded no contest on May 11th to operating while impaired and failing to stop after a collision, offenses that each carry penalties of up to 93 days behind bars. The report went on to reveal that Mathers was also expected in court Wednesday for a status hearing tied to another drunk driving case that allegedly happened just 2 days after entering her plea in the first matter. In that case, she was charged with operating while intoxicated, third offense, which is considered a felony. Authorities also allege that she struck a parked vehicle in a residential neighborhood in Chesterfield Township and later recorded a preliminary blood alcohol level of 0.20, more than double the legal limit. Because of those charges, Mathers could face as much as 1 year in jail or up to 5 years in prison, along with fines reaching $5,000. Additional penalties could include losing her driver's license for up to 5 years, forfeiture of her vehicle, and mandatory community service. Honestly, hearing all of this feels like stepping back into the early 2000s, and at this point, all anyone can really do is hope she finds a better path moving forward. Meanwhile, Jay-Z has also dropped another teaser, this time alongside Rick Rubin, for an upcoming 8-part documentary series set to arrive this fall.
Everyone had this same experience except I was the one that could stand on the soapbox and like articulate what we were going through.
Without the pain, you wouldn't have done the work.
So the pain, you don't say it's necessary, you don't say you need it, but if it's there, you use it.
And man, people over on X have been absolutely relentless when it comes to Jay-Z ever since this story started gaining traction. Some users were quick to point out that this was the same kind of public visibility they remember seeing from Diddy before all of his legal troubles unfolded. What's making fans raise their eyebrows even more is the fact that Jay has spent decades staying incredibly private, even during major album releases. So seeing him suddenly everywhere, doing interviews and promotional appearances, has a lot of people talking. And some are already joking that 50 Cent might eventually turn all of this into his next documentary series. The conversation got even louder when Drake affiliate DJ Academics weighed in after watching the documentary Reputation Rehab. Academics made it clear that he believes Roc Nation is working overtime behind the scenes to shape public perception. He went as far as saying, to all you paid Roc Nation defenders, if you're getting paid, at least make the narratives believable. He continued by mocking some of the talking points being pushed, saying people are looking at them thinking, come on, y'all need to do better before Jay-Z replaces everybody. Academics added that Jay has always been known as someone who expects results and doesn't play around when it comes to business. He also took direct aim at Charlemagne, saying it was disappointing to watch someone he once admired repeat what he sees as Roc Nation messaging. Academics admitted he was surprised and even said he was at a loss for words seeing Charlemagne take that stance publicly. At the same time, he gave Joe Budden credit, arguing that while Joe is clearly a huge Jay-Z supporter, he at least doesn't sound scripted. According to academics, many other media personalities have become nothing more than industry mouthpieces. He finished by saying that despite all the pushback, those voices aren't strong enough to change how a lot of fans currently feel. And now another major hip-hop media figure appears to be adding fuel to the conversation after Ebro recently revealed something that immediately got people talking.
Heritage conversation, Jay and I, just the other day, he texted me because he saw the clip of us talking about the hair convo.
Oh, really?
I was like, yo, you saw that?
Oh, wow.
And so
Did that even move around?
Apparently, it moved around his algorithm, or someone sent it to him. I don't know how it happened.
I mean, it moved a little, right? I've seen it.
But he was like, yo, man, I really appreciate that convo. Like, that's dope. Like, because, you know, the clip was me talking about dealing with Issa's hair and her complexion and these feelings that she has. And as a parent, when you see that, and I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh,
I've only seen the trailer. But obviously in there, and you brought this up, Laura, about him deciding to grow his hair out because he wanted to show Blue it could be done. Because remember, Blue's young and being ridiculed publicly about her hair texture.
Insane. It was so disgusting. You remember.
When she's 5 years old and people were talking about her edges and her hair not being done and this and that. And she was like a child. She's 4 or 5.
Child. Yeah, it was disgusting. It was pretty bad.
But to your point of him checking for things, the fact that someone at that level cared to reach out about a convo we were having, it's a big deal for me.
Well, remember when he called and checked me back in the day? That was based on that's pre-internet really moving. Like, things, there was no algorithm. You had to actively be like kind of looking for stuff. Like there wasn't your algorithm feeding you stuff. And he heard a conversation and was like,
We started with an AI that turns any idea into a game. Everyone was building something fun.
I don't like that. I don't like that take. I need to get you on the line. It's to this day one of the craziest moments of my life, for sure.
And man, some people online wasted absolutely no time running with that narrative. According to some critics, this is apparently all it takes for certain fans to suddenly start speaking positively about you. One user even joked, if a single text message can get these guys this excited, imagine what a few dollars could do. Others piled on, with one comment reading, I'm crying laughing. These groupies are really hyped because a 60-year-old called them. But to be fair, that 60-year-old happens to be Jay-Z, and that's a pretty big deal in hip-hop. And if you've listened to Jay's music over the years, you already know he's always thinking several moves ahead. In fact, some fans believe Jay was carefully watching all the media attention surrounding the hair discussions because, as many remember, it eventually turned out to be part of a viral rollout for Beyoncé's hair care brand, Secret. So, in classic Jay-Z fashion, what looked like random conversation may have actually been business all along. After all, as the famous line goes, he's not just a businessman, he's a businessman. And speaking of artists who constantly dominate conversations, this next story brought back something King Crooked once said after Eminem dropped Music to Be Murdered By, Side B. At the time, Crooked praised Eminem for continuing to make people genuinely excited about lyricism, and a recent report reminded me exactly why he said that. Popcore recently shared Genius's list of the most viewed song lyrics of all time, and surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, Eminem accounted for nearly 40% of the top 15 entries. Seeing that statistic had social media going crazy, and one particular reaction had me laughing. One fan basically said, "Come on, man, enough already." The comment continued by saying they weren't interested in hearing any more anti-Eminem takes because these rankings consistently place him at number 1, number 2, or at the very least, somewhere in the top 5. Whether people love it or hate it, the numbers just keep backing up his impact. And moving on, Eve recently opened up about the events that led to her first meeting with Dr. Dre, and you already know the story came with some fascinating details.
Manager at the time was like the neighborhood drug dealer.
Those are the best managers.
They're the best managers. Listen, they hustle.
Shout out, Flo.
They get stuff done. I will say this: he was moving out of it. You know, he was getting his life together.
That's what he says.
But he had another artist that was doing really well already, so I trusted him. So I don't know how this came about for him, but Dr. Dre's right-hand man happened to be in Philly, and my manager called me like, hey, we got this one opportunity. You need to come rap for this dude. And I was like, yeah, all right. Like, I think I was kind of deflated by then. I was like, I'm over it.
You were almost giving up at this
I was
stuff.
almost giving up because I'm like, I'm going to NYU now. I'm going to do special effects makeup. And it didn't happen. You know, and I go and I rap for this dude at my drug dealer's house. Not my drug dealer. Yeah. My manager.
Yeah. A drug dealer, allegedly.
And he literally called Dr. Dre right there. He was like, we found our girl. Like right after I finished.
And right there on the spot, he picked up the phone and called Dr. Dre himself. He basically said, yo, we just found our artist, almost immediately after the session wrapped up. Just like that, the wheels were already in motion, and you can only imagine how huge that moment must have felt.
It must have felt incredible, right?
Well, once he called Dre, I was like, is that him for real? Yeah, once that happened, I mean, he called Dre, and I was packing my bags to go do a demo in LA like 4 days later. And that was like, wow, this is crazy.
But then you have to go and then meet Dre.
I had to go in the studio and do a new demo for Dre. And one of the songs actually wound up on this movie, this old movie called Bullworth. He put it on the soundtrack, and I was like, this is insane.
So there's a stories of like, there's an interview with Exhibit where Exhibit talks about, I can't remember what, I think it might be Multiply.
Okay.
Where Dre made him redo the opening bar for that like 400 times or something like that because he was like, you haven't got the intonation right. And then I know Snoop's talked about the fact that Dre's really particular about how to do certain things. Is that your experience of working with him?
Of course it is, yeah. Yes. For me, it was the word block on Satisfaction.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm saying block. I can hear you saying it. Everybody else can hear it. And he was like, you're not saying it the way I need you to say it. And as soon as I got it, I heard what he heard. And that's what makes him great, because it was so simple, but so pivotal to how this next part worked. I was like, how the hell did you hear that? But yeah, he made me, I think 25 times I probably did it.
That's the thing about, like people say about, Dre has got some sort of vision, right?
It's insane. It's just different. Yeah. With Dre, I've never worked with someone, you know, it might be about the beat, whereas for him, the words are part of the beat as well. It's not just the drums. It's like, how are you saying this word? How is the melody flowing out of you?
So how were you saying block and how are you supposed to say it?
I mean, now, however, you got to play the song to hear it.
Right, okay.
Because now when I perform it, I don't say it. I still don't say it. When I perform it, I say it how I say it. So like he won that round. I mean, we used to really, he used to get on my nerves, but it would bring the best out of me. Like he would never let me leave the studio. I used to hate writing choruses. And for like Blow Your Mind, if I hadn't stayed there and wrote Blow Your Mind, that whole song I won a Grammy for, I can say that. Like he would not let me leave. He was like, you can just do it. Stop being lazy. And I'm like, I'm not lazy. You know what I mean? But if he hadn't kept me there, you know? So, yeah.
And if you go back and watch interviews from artists who've collaborated with Dr. Dre, you'll notice they all tell remarkably similar stories. It's almost crazy because many of their experiences sound nearly identical, almost word for word. Take this example from 2 Chainz, which perfectly illustrates what so many rappers have been saying for years.
A perfectionist, and that's why I guess you want to be around him, you know. But he is you know what it is? It's like Dre. It's like rap is at a point now where it's like AI, but not AI, but it's quicker and faster. And sometimes if the end of a word is not enunciated, it's still taken as like dope because it's a vibe, it's an energy. Dre ain't going for that. He want to hit a T He want to hit a dot on the I. And he I think I'm finna just get a couple lines. He stopped me. No, go back and say that one again. But man, I really enjoyed being around Dre because of obviously who he is to the culture and who he is.
Yeah.
And man, and the people around, and just, he record every day. You know, he in the studio going hard every day. I'm going there. He playing full songs with a whole, man, all type of instrumentation, a whole skit involved. I'm like, I did this 3 songs a day. So it's cool to know that he's still, you know, musically motivated.
But with that level of perfectionism, there's always a price to pay. And in Dr. Dre's case, many fans believe it has significantly slowed down his musical output. Seriously, if you traveled back to the early 2000s and told hip-hop fans that Dr. Dre would finish his career with only about 2.5 albums, most people would have assumed something tragic had happened. But that's not the case at all. Dre is still here, healthy, and as influential as ever. And when I say 2.5 albums, I'm counting The Chronic, 2001, and giving Compton half credit. That's going to wrap things up for today's video. As always, I'm really interested to hear what you think about all of this, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.